Dean McDermott has just taken the already dramatic divorce between him and Tori Spelling to a whole new level by revealing a staggering claim about how much money Tori actually makes each month. According to Dean, her income is wildly unpredictable. Some months she brings in just $3,000, and other months she can rake in as much as $75,000. This shocking disclosure wasn't made in an interview, not whispered behind closed doors, but spelled out clearly in court documents filed as part of their divorce proceedings. And of course, once those papers became public, the story exploded across entertainment headlines, igniting a storm of discussion about Tori's finances, Dean's debts, and the messy reality of their split. To really grasp the weight of this revelation, you have to understand the backdrop. Tori Spelling, daughter of legendary television producer Aaron Spelling, has been in the spotlight since childhood. She rose to fame in the 90s with her role as Donna Martin on Beverly Hills 90210, a role that made her a household name. But fame doesn't always translate to financial stability, and over the years, Tori has faced endless speculation and reports about money troubles, unpaid debts, and tax liens. For years, the narrative surrounding her and Dean has been one of financial struggle paired with very public marital turbulence. And now, these latest numbers put all of that speculation back under a magnifying glass. Dean's declaration sets the tone. His own monthly earnings hover around $3,800, coming from his work as a substance abuse counselor at a rehab center. Compare that to Tori's unpredictable range, and you can see why he's presenting her income as proof of her financial advantage. But it's not that simple. The $3,000 months highlight just how inconsistent her earnings really are. That's the nature of working in Hollywood, where paychecks depend heavily on projects, endorsements, appearances, and side ventures like podcasts. One month might bring in a high-paying gig, but the next could bring nothing at all. For Dean, though, the court filing paints him as financially strained, buried under debts totaling more than $215,000, a shocking number that includes unpaid loans, credit cards, and even medical bills. This is not the first time finances have caused tension in the Spelling-McDermott household. Their money problems have been headline fodder for more than a decade. Back in 2016, a bank sued them over a six-figure loan, and since then, reports of unpaid bills and financial disputes have surfaced repeatedly. In many ways, this latest filing feels like déjà vu, another chapter in a long-running saga where financial woes and personal drama collide. And yet, the timing makes it even more gripping. After nearly 2 decades of marriage and 5 children together, Tori filed for divorce in March 2024, setting in motion a legal process that is already proving to be just as messy as their marriage once was. But this story isn't just about numbers. There's raw emotion threaded throughout. In recent months, Tori has opened up publicly about her fears of being alone, admitting on her podcast that she doesn't want to die alone, and breaking down in tears about the uncertainty of her future. These confessions have humanized her in a way that resonates deeply with fans. They remind us that behind the tabloid drama and dollar signs is a woman trying to rebuild her life while raising 5 children in the glare of public scrutiny. For Dean, meanwhile, these financial disclosures show a man fighting to prove his vulnerability in court, emphasizing his debts and modest paycheck in contrast to Tori's variable but potentially lucrative income. The public reaction has been fascinating. On social media, the moment people saw that $3,000 to $75,000 range, debates broke out. Some were quick to say that Tori, with her Hollywood background and opportunities, is clearly capable of living comfortably. Others jumped to her defense, pointing out that inconsistent income can be just as stressful as low income, especially when it comes to covering the expenses of 5 kids, housing, and legal fees. And then there's the faction that sympathizes with Dean, highlighting how his debts and comparatively small paycheck make him appear like the underdog in this divorce battle. The court of public opinion, as always, is divided. What complicates this further is the image Tori projects on social media versus the reality, laid bare in court documents. On one hand, she's shared tender posts celebrating Father's Day and emphasizing amicable co-parenting, presenting a family-first narrative. On the other hand, the legal paperwork tells a harsher story, a battle over money, debts, and survival. That tension between public image and legal reality keeps fueling the media frenzy because every post, every filing, and every quote feels like a new twist in an already dramatic story. And let's not forget the children at the center of all this. Tori and Dean share 5 kids, and both have made public statements about prioritizing their well-being. Co-parenting in the middle of financial and emotional turmoil is no easy feat, and yet both have acknowledged the importance of putting their children first. Still, with these financial declarations making headlines, one can only imagine the strain such public exposure adds to an already delicate family situation. Now, the big question is, what happens next? The court will review these filings, weigh the credibility of the income claims, and decide how much each party is responsible for in terms of support, bills, and legal costs. These aren't final determinations of wealth or poverty. They're snapshots meant to guide temporary orders until the divorce is finalized. Still, the numbers matter because they frame the narrative not just for the judge, but also for the public watching from the sidelines. And it's important to note that entertainment industry income is inherently unpredictable. A single project or endorsement deal can create a temporary spike that looks impressive on paper, but isn't sustainable over time. That's what makes this case so interesting. Both sides are telling partial truths. Dean is highlighting Tori's high-earning potential while downplaying her low months, and Tori has long insisted that money problems are real and pressing. The truth, as always, is somewhere in between, shaped by the volatility of Hollywood paychecks and the weight of old debts. This story has all the hallmarks of a classic celebrity divorce saga: high-profile names, money disputes, emotional confessions, and the glare of relentless media coverage. But what keeps people hooked is the relatability beneath the glamour. Strip away the Beverly Hills backdrop and the famous last name, and you see themes that countless people face during divorce: fear of financial insecurity, arguments over support, and the painful process of untangling 2 lives built together over nearly 2 decades. As the divorce proceedings continue, expect more headlines, more filings, and probably more personal revelations, whether through court documents or podcasts. Both Tori and Dean are not just fighting a legal battle, but also shaping their narratives in the public eye. Dean's numbers may influence the court, but Tori's vulnerability may influence the audience, and in today's media landscape, both forms of influence matter. So the world waits, watching to see how a judge will interpret these wildly different financial pictures, and how 2 people who once built a life together will now attempt to build separate futures under the spotlight of Hollywood. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.